right, yes, a beautiful morning to us and welcome to another moment talking sport right here on your number one, the Politics and Business Sport. It is the Sports Punch right here on your TV station. You can reach us online on our YouTube and also all social media platforms. All right, today, before we start up, we'll be looking at what is trending in the Nigerian Super Falcons camp ahead of the Nigerian-South African game. And also we'll be looking at what is to comprehend in the African Cup of Nations 2023, which is actually ongoing in Cote d'Ivoire. What is the take-home address and what is the take-home locations for so many teams that have actually stepped down, for the likes of Cameroon, for the likes of Senegal, Egypt, and Morocco, who have been tagged as the most favorite teams to actually triumph in the AFCON 2023, have actually ended up to being in the home address location. But this time around, we'll be looking at so many discussions inbuilt of the outcomes of the African Cup of Nations. The underdogs who are actually trailing up to the semi-finals right now, talking about Cote d'Ivoire, and the likes of them, and other shocking moment in the African Cup of Nations. My name is RILWANMUSAGAWU, RMG. I'll be your host and guide this beautiful morning till 9:30. But before we barge into the storylines and also the news coming in from the Nigerian Super Eagles team, that's the camp, let's quickly go for a quick AFCON break, and then when we come back, we'll be giving you a hint of what is trending in the camp. Don't go nowhere. Oh yes, who shall win it? That is the African Cup of Nations 2023 edition, the special edition where we are having mouth-watering encounters, battles from all angles, starting from the round of 32 to the round of 16, and right now a round of 8, and then we'll be looking from the round of 8 also, and now we are hoping to have the round of 8, the round of 4 games coming up from tomorrow, which is Wednesday, March day 1 of the semi-finals will be kicking off. And then there is a possibility that either of these 4 teams, definitely 2, will be in the finals. Who are we talking about? We're talking about the Nigerian game versus South Africa, and that of Cape Verde and Ivory Coast, or is that of Democratic and Ivory Coast. Oh yes, this is how it's going to be slugging out in the semis of the African Cup of Nations 2023 edition. Record holds it that South Africa, this is the first time in so many years of the AFCON, they are getting to the semi-finals. And as for Nigeria, the last time they got to this stage was in the 2018 AFCON. And also for the Cote d'Ivoire side, it has been a long time coming for them also. But the newcomers, talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo, this is the first time ever in their history to have actually emerged into the semi-finals of a big competition as big as the African Cup of Nations. Now let's quickly grab into the camp of the Nigerian Super Eagles. Let's see which of the players are actually making impact and which of the players are going to be starting. Yes, the likes of Victor Osimhen. There is a doubt story coming out of the camp of the Nigerian Super Eagles, as according to the Nigerian Super Eagles media officer, Baba Raji, actually, Victor Osimhen is suffering from an abdominal discomfort, and there is possibility he might not be starting in tomorrow's semi-final game against South Africa. The Napoli hitman failed to travel with the rest of the squad to Bouake on Monday night for a training ahead of the South African game, and the players and their officials departed Abidjan for Bouake via air Cote d'Ivoire around 10 p.m. Local time last night, and Osimhen has been placed under close watch, and he will join the rest of the team on Tuesday, which is later today, if he is cleared by the medical team. And the 25-year-old has scored 1 goal and provided 1 assist in 5 matches of the African Cup of Nations ongoing in the 2023 finals. And Josepo Pacero's men will take the Bafana of South Africa at the Stadio La Pret, Bouake, on Wednesday evening. And this is what is the Nigerian Super Eagles, and also not just Victor Osimhen. The likely person that could not start is Nwabali, even though Nwabali is actually with the team out there in their camp. We saw him travel out with them last night, but there is a possibility that Nwabali is still not fit to start. But what if it doesn't fit? What is your take on this one? The number you could actually reach us on our Facebook platforms and drop a comment right on the live stream there. You can get us and tell us what are your predictions for the game between South Africa versus Nigeria. That game is one encounter that all people will be looking at. Let's also look at the head-to-head between the Nigerian Super Eagles and the South African side. Where in the head-to-head, we've seen Nigeria won it 5 times against the South African side, and they've bloggers when it comes to playing with the South African side. We've won them in a couple of competitions we've met, most especially in the African Cup of Nations, where it has been just Nigeria leading the way. And we'll be looking at the 5 trailing wins of the Nigerian Super Eagles against the Bafanas of South Africa. Quickly, let's start with the first one. The first meeting between Nigeria and South Africa is end up 2-1 in favor of Nigeria, and then South Africa and Nigeria drew it all 1-1 in the other game, and also Nigeria lost to South Africa 2-0 in another encounter. While Nigeria versus South Africa, it went on 2-2 draw after the 2-0 thrashing of Nigeria, and then South Africa and Nigeria also went on a simultaneous goalless draw, with Nigeria winning the next streak at 3-1 and South Africa losing again 1-0. And Nigeria have been unbeaten in their last 4 games against South Africa, having to clinch about 6, 7 to 10 goals in 3 of the last one for the South African side. So the books, or should we say the odds, are actually with the Nigerian Super Eagles here, as we have 10 goals in our last 4 games against the South African side, while they have just 3 goals. So what do you think? Is it an easy ride for the Nigerian Super Eagles in the African Cup of Nations semi-finals? Or probably we'll be seeing a shocker, because this season's, or should I say this African Cup of Nations has been a shocker right from game 30, right from game 1 to March day 16, and also in the round of 8, we saw a lot of encounter. We saw how the Cote d'Ivoire side actually almost got themselves asked out as the host country, but now they are in the semi-finals with the Democratic Republic of Congo. And we saw what the Mauritanians actually did in the group stage. We saw how the Egyptians bow out, the Pharaohs actually bowed out. We saw how the Indomitable Lions were swallowed and were eaten up by the Eagles of the Nigerian Super Eagles. And we saw how the Elephants, the Teranga Lions, also of Senegal, had to step down from their nest and move on back to their dens to continue regrooming themselves. And also we saw so many encounter the Black Stars of Ghana, and the banter between the Nigerian fans and also the Ghanaian fans can never stop. We saw the Antelopes of Angola who also were triumphed against the Nigerian Super Eagles. Now the Bafana side, let's quickly talk about the story coming in from the Bafana side. We had the goalkeeper he has actually break records in the African Cup of Nations. So far so good, making numerous sets of penalty save, and the man has been a talking point in all media platforms across the world, even in Africa. As a standard, some European clubs are actually trailing high figures on the goalkeeper, the South African goalkeeper, who is already making waves, and people are actually saying that the man will be the stopper of the Nigerian team. Do you think that the South African side has what it takes to stop Nigeria in this South African game? Let's quickly glance in Africa's goalkeepers little record that he has actually made. Yes, you can see him on the screen there, talking about Rowan Williams, who was the hero for their side as their side beat Cape Verde on penalties to reach out to the AFCON semi-finals on Saturday. Yes, the AFCON team, after a 0-0 draw, a hard-fought 0-0 draw in regulation time, the game had to be decided on penalties, with South Africa winning 2-1, and all thanks to the showstopper, talking about the standard performance and the shootout that was Williams, who made 4 good saves, not hitting the bar, not going out of the goalpost, but stopping it with his own hands. Following his heroic CAF confirmed that Williams has become the first goalkeeper ever to save 4 penalties in a single AFCON shootout. South Africa will now face the 3-time African champions. Their first edition. This is their first semi-final since the 2000 edition, co-hosted by Ghana and Nigeria. That was the last time South Africa actually got to the semi-finals. And the 1996 AFCON champions will take on Super Eagles, 3-time champions, in Boeke later tomorrow evening. Williams is currently, he plies his trade at the same South African Premier Soccer League known as the PSL, in the Giants of Mamelodi Sundowns. And we know what Mamelodi Sundowns have been actually doing in the South African League. They've actually won the league a couple of times, and they've been topping the league. Even right now, they are at the top of the log table in the South African League. And he is actually a 32-year-old man who just made his debut for South Africa in the year 2014. In the year 2014, March 5th, he made his debut in a friendly against Brazil due to a sprained ankle. Due to the sprained ankle injury he suffered, the first choice keeper in Tumilange Kone was now the replacement of Williams. So these are the stories coming in from the South African camp. They have a very strong defender. We have a very good set of attackers. Let's quickly go for a short break, and then when we come back, we'll be looking at what to expect from the tactical side of Jose Peseiro and his boys, and then the tactical side of the South African side. Don't go nowhere. We're discussing AFCON, and we'll be right back. All right, you're watching the Sport Sponge coming your way live from Politics and Business TV right here on your social media platforms. We're out there. You can stream us live and direct and drop your comment. Give us your predictions of what you think the game between Nigerian Super Eagles will be slugging it out against this Bafana of South Africa. What do you think the game would look like? Should it be 1-0, a 2-0, or a 3-0 bashing of the Bafanas, or should we say this is the end of the road for the Nigerian Super Eagles? Now, I'm talking about the end of the road for the Nigerian Super Eagles. One of our own, a former captain, one of the most decorated player of the Nigerian Super Eagles has come out to say that the Nigerian Super Eagles would not qualify to the finals of the African Cup of Nations this time around, as he has tipped South Africa to go straight. He has tipped Cote d'Ivoire, I beg your pardon, to go straight to that finals and also to win it. So if Nigeria gets to the final, he is actually saying that they would lose to the Cote d'Ivoire. Let's quickly look at who is that person, and that person is none other than one of the most decorated players in Africa. Shows one of the men who have actually played in Chelsea Football Club of London, none other than John Mikel Obi, who was our former captain, and he has come out to give it out to the Cote d'Ivoire side. The former international Mikel Obi has predicted that the final of the 2023 African Cup of Nations will be played between the Nigerian Super Eagles and Ivory Coast on the 11th of February, and he has tipped the Ivorians to the favorite of the night on Saturday on the 11th of February 2023. Yes, in a chat with newsmen, the former Chelsea star stated that Nigeria will overcome the Bafanas of South Africa in the semi-finals, while Ivory Coast will edge the Democratic Republic of Congo. But he thinks, and he was thinking about the other day, and he said, and I quote, "I think so. I was thinking about the other day, and I was thinking that we managed to beat them in the group stage, and they were on the verge of leaving the tournament. They were on the verge of leaving the tournament, and all of a sudden, they are back in. They are back in it, and now they have got a wind with them, and now we are playing pretty okay, but not so well. But they have started to win games, and now they can manage to get to the finals. Who knows? They would win it." So what do you think about our own? Is he being patriotic, or is just trying to be a football fan? Yes, a lot of people will argue he's actually not being fact that he has played this game in 2014. He has played this game in 2010 when they faced the South African side. He was part of those players who actually made an assist in our last game against them, where we scored 4-0 in that encounter between Nigeria and the Bafana of South Africa. But right now, he is tipping the Ivorians to actually be the winners of this 2023 African Cup of Nations. We have the African best player in the world in Africa right now in the shows. We have one of the best attackers in the English Premier League in our shows. We have the best midfield throws in the shows. We have the best defenders in the shows. And right now, he is saying the Ivorians who started on the low coast, who we beat in the group stage, would actually come back to have a revenge. What do you think? Now let's look at the tactical formation being used by Jose Pacero, where he has Osimhen keeping up to tackle the defense of every team they actually face. Now, a lot of our defenders have actually been tricked by Jose Pacero, using his 4-2-3-1 formation, a 4-3-3 formation, but broken into a 4-2-3-1 formation, where he has been hiding on Victor Osimhen down the flank and pushing in Lookman to be the man up front, to be pressuring, to be making ease of the pressure for coming in from Osimhen, because every defender is eye-bound on Victor Osimhen. Now, let's look at that formation. A lot of people would say from match day one, when we had that game, it was very difficult for us to start. We couldn't even score. We were unlucky. And the man came out to say that he was saving the goals for the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and also the semis, and if possible, to get to the finals. And now we've seen that changes coming in. We've seen Lookman backing up the goals. We've seen Osimhen even scoring, and also the games have been cancelled. So I think for me, though, I would like to get your comments on the comment section. Jose Pacero's 4-2-3-1 formation has actually, since he started using it in match day 3 of the group stage, and until this moment, they've actually been making waves. They've been creating perseverance, more chances, more shot on target. We've seen Lookman being the target of all the ball pulls. But Osimhen, a lot of people have saying that he needs to rejuvenate his Napoli character into these African Cup of Nations games so that he will define the reason why he is the African Cup of Nations. He is not among the top goal scorers in the African Cup of Nations at the moment, but he has made an impact. In 5 games, he has made 1 assist and scored a goal. What do you think about this? Let's quickly glance through. Let's go for a quick break. It's time for us to almost say goodbye. But before we go, we would like to chip in 1 or 2 stories coming in from the European scene, either from the Premier League. You saw what happened last night. Manchester City came from behind to win it 3-1 against Brentford. A hat-trick for the man Phil Foden, and a welcome back assist from Haaland and De Bruyne. Let's quickly go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the Manchester City game last night, and then possibility of games that will come down this weekend. All right, yes, who shall win the African Cup of Nations 2023? Is it Cote d'Ivoire? Is it Democratic Republic of Congo, the newcomers? Is it the 3-time owners, the Nigerian Super Eagles, or the ones who have last been in this competition in this stage in 2014, the Bafanas of South Africa? Yes, you can drop your comment on the comment section on all our platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, and other platforms. You can get us live and then drop your comments and drop your predictions. And then when we come tomorrow, we'll be reading it out for you guys. And then we'll be talking more of the expectations that we will be having in the house. And probably we could be speaking of to one of these big men who are actually into the picture of the Nigerian Super Eagles camp. We'll be speaking with 1 or 2 of them. If we could get to the president of the All Coaches Association in Nigeria, talking about Coach Ladan Boso. We'll be speaking to him probably tomorrow to see what is the stake out there and how is the camp actually like. Are we actually accepting the fact that Jose Pacero is the man for it? Let's quickly glance into Europe as time is faster spent. Let's go straight to Manchester City, starting up with their game last night before we go into what is trending in the transfer terrain. Yes, Manchester City actually triumphed against Brentford 3-1 with a very, very tight encounter. They were losing 1-0 in the halftime where we had Maupe taking up the first goal with an assist coming in from Ivan Toney. In fact, that game was a good dominance for Brentford in the first half, but in the second half, just like a wounded lion, the the Manchester City side, the Etihad side, came out, like you know them, they call them the noisy neighbors, they call them the blue side of Manchester, came out to triumph with a very superb assist coming in from the man talking about Kevin De Bruyne, KDB, who gave Foden the first goal, the second goal also, and then the third goal was an assist from Haaland, who tried to hit the post, the goal post, but till the night went off in the 85th minute when he was being bent, he wouldn't get a goal. 3-1 in that encounter, and right now Pep Guardiola is coming out to make counter and on Haaland, and he's saying to Real Madrid, if you want Erling Braut Haaland, call me directly. What does that mean? He's actually trying to say that the speculation trailing that Real Madrid want to sign Haaland by the end of this season is not true, and it is rumors. But if truly Real Madrid want to sign in the man, they should call him directly to speak to him. He is not the agent, but he is the coach. These are trends coming in from the social media and the banters, and also we saw Fabrizio, the man who is one of the most talked footballer journalists who actually breaks in stories of such, gave that one. Now quickly, let's go straight to result of Manchester triumphed on Monday Night Football, which was yesterday. Roma trash Cagliari 4-0 in the Italian Serie A. In the Spanish La Liga, we saw Rayo Vallecano lost to Sevilla 2-1 in that mouth-watering encounter. And also we were looking at the fixtures of matches that will be coming down pretty well today in the FA Cup round 4 of the FA Cup. Will be seeing commentary taking on Sheffield Wednesday by 7:45 p.m. while Plymouth will be taking on Leeds United 7:45 p.m. Southampton will be hosting Watford 7:45 p.m. These are the matches that will be trailing up later today in the FA Cup for round cup. And Aston Villa will be taking up Chelsea tomorrow by 8 p.m. while 7:45 p.m. Nottingham Forest will be battled out against Bristol City. Yes, and also in the German Bundesliga on Wednesday 5:30 p.m. Mainz will be taking on Union Berlin. We'll be having a very tight encounter in the African Cup of Nations 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Nigeria will be taking on South Africa on Wednesday evening, and also the Ivorians will be battled out against the Democratic Republic of Congo in the later night by 8 p.m. on Wednesday. And on Friday we'll be looking at Borussia Dortmund taking on Freiburg, Salernitana taking on Empoli in both German Bundesliga and Italian Serie A, and the Spanish La Liga. Cadiz will be taking on Real Betis. Marseille would host Meza in the French League. These are the games that will be coming down later those days. So this is the size of the package today, the first edition of the African Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 2023 encounter with my name still remaining RILWANMUSAGAWU RMG. Let's meet tomorrow for another encountering moment, and where we'll be discussing with some analysts pretty well on how the game will look like tomorrow. What is your prediction? Drop it in the comment section tomorrow. When we come, we'll be reading it out. I say bye for now.